Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Chair Yoga. I am here at a different location in Florida, but really grateful that I have this space and this ability to get our community together. And I'm speaking to the YouTube community as well as those who attend by way of Zoom. I'm really trying to encourage people to become a part of that YouTube community, and becoming a part of that not only means I ask you to subscribe, that's useful, because you'll then get the feed. You'll know when a new class has been put out there, and also because we have that feature on YouTube of commenting. So it's a way of having some kind of conversation, getting some feedback going. I had a wonderful experience this weekend of a subscriber who reached out to me by way of the comments, by and she just really inspired me and gave me a lot of confidence in the work I'm doing, and it was just very meaningful to me. And so I want to encourage us all to think about this as a community, as an online community where we can be really a source of support to one another, inspiration, companionship, if you will. So that's what I wanted to start with. We're going to use today the Adi mantra. It's called. It comes from the Kundalini tradition of yoga, and it's Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. So those of you who are on my email list have gotten that in this morning's email. That just printed it out for you so you could kind of get an idea visually of the words. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And I'm going to start with that as you sit up nice and tall and find your place of right alignment, that you start to transition now. Be more mindful about this transitional time, closing your eyes if you need to, whenever you need to. Some of you are on this class, attending this class as a group, so it's easy to be distracted by the other people in the room, to kind of keep up the chatter that might be going on. And I'm just encouraging you to make your own personal transition so you feel very aligned in your chair and how you're sitting and the experience of your body. You start to take deeper breaths. Deeper breaths will just help us to feel the breath, become more connected to it in a mindful way. And then let's put our palms up on our lap. Turn your hands so palms are facing up on your lap. This mudra or gesture of receptivity, open to receive the benefits and blessings of this practice, the benefits and blessings of becoming this part of a community. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo translates loosely. Om is the sound of the universe. Om is the sound of the universe. So we're just acknowledging, kind of allowing ourselves to be filled by that. Namo is bowing to, honoring, paying homage to. So Om Namo kind of speaks for itself. Guru is a teacher. You've probably heard that before. Guru, the R's are rolled in the Sanskrit language, so you hear it more like a D, Guru. Dev, the divine teacher within. The divine teacher within. We bow to that, Namo, as well. So that's what I'm hoping to cultivate today, that you get to know yourself, that you're coming at this practice with that intention, to get to know your body, get to know your breath, not trying to translate it into anything, to have some deep, understanding that's just going to, but just that you're willing to listen to your body, to notice how you breathe, how your breath changes, how your body has some resistance in it. And I want to encourage you to do this with this in mind. Not what you can't do, not that you start to notice your limitations in your asana practice, in the physicality of the practice, but instead that you're looking at what you do, can do, and like to do, what feels free and movable and strong, and build on that, and build on that. So let's begin. Palms are open, eyes are closed. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo.
Namo.
Om Namo Guru Dev Namo.
Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om.
Beautiful. Let's open the eyes. Take a big lift now as palms come together up and overhead. Exhale as you bow to yourself at your heart. Inhale up and exhale, come all the way down. I'm going to position myself in the chair where I'm going to do the work here. This is where I do the talking, and I'll join you there. Let's get our block in between our thighs. So if you're using a block, I encourage you to take that now and put it between your thighs. Center yourself on your chair seat so you've got lots of good support with that chair. And I want you to find your way into your pelvis. I want you to feel your way into your pelvis by rocking a little bit. Forward and back, start to move in just a slight rocking action. So you're feeling the boniness of your pelvis. That prominent boniness that you're experiencing is referred to as the sit bones or sits bones. And I want you to center yourself there. So once you've kind of found the front, back, and center of the sits bones, find the center once again and stay with that. Squeeze the block just a bit so you can feel the energy of your inner thighs, the adductor muscles, squeezing into the block, and how much stronger and more purposeful it feels when you do that. Shoulder blades are pulling back and down. Now let's find a breath practice that takes us through the length of the spine. As you inhale now, take a big inhale. Exhale it right down to the base of the spine into the perineum of your body. Inhale it from that space right up through the spine, maybe to the crown of the head. And exhale it back down. Eyes closed might be useful because then you can really focus on it, because it takes some imagination, doesn't it? It takes imagination and intention to connect your breath in this way, following it through the body. Soften your mouth, relax your tongue. Try to soften all of your facial muscles. And now trust that your breath in that rhythm of movement through the whole length of the spine has been established. And now I want you to bring your awareness into your feet, pressing your feet as though you're trying to make an imprint there, and into how you can feel your ankles because of that imprint that you're making. Can you feel into your calves, maybe into your shin bone? Feel your knees into the thigh bones and all of the muscles that support those, the thighs, all the front and back, top and bottom. Feel your chest bone lift as you breathe. You feel your whole rib cage lift and expand. Let your arms kind of squeeze in towards your sides. Let's take a brief moment here to set your own personal intention. I want to make sure we make room and space for that in this practice. I set a general intention as a theme for the class, if you will, but what do you need from yoga today? Why are you here? I have really come to love that question in terms of intention setting is, what's your why? And then on your next exhale, just release that. Let's just release that. And so it is. Open the eyes again. Let's sync up the breath as palms come together overhead. Look up if you can. Bow into your heart. Inhale back up. And exhale, come all the way around. Arms are going to be right alongside the frame of the chair. I want you to pull back, pull back. Keep your hands and arms real close to the side of the chair. Keep your head in a very neutral position so your jawline is going to be parallel to the floor. So it's very neutral about how you're holding your head, but it's not neutral in your body and your spine. I'll give you the side view. I want you to really arch that back body into the cow pose. So the extension of the spine is a strong opening pose, and it's one we use almost always as a warm-up. And I highly recommend as you do your own personal practices to include warming up. Don't jump into the hard stuff. Be sure to move through it and warm up the body, feel some movement in your joints. Next time you're ready to exhale, let's come into the cat portion of that. Either float your hands out and away from you, or let your hands just stay on your lap, whatever you can find as a better access to the rounding of the spine into the C-shaped curve of the cat. Drop your chin in towards your throat. You're breathing in and out. We're just patterning the body, feeling the opposite movement of cow and cat now. We'll do that as a vinyasa, so let's move. Inhale, exhale. Find your rhythm. Inhale is the extension. Exhale is the roundness of the back. Try to keep your movement in pace with that breath. Don't speed it up. If anything, be more mindful. So that might even put you in a slower gear. I want to do two more. There's one series right there, a sequence, I should say. And here's the second one. While you're in your cow pose, while you're in your cat pose, interlace your hands and press your palms forward. You can look out at them. Your back is in a roundness of the C-shaped curve, and you're looking out at your interlaced hands. Palms are facing forward. Now lift up, press those palms up and overhead. Get your arms as close to your ears as you are able to. Try to straighten your arms with as little bend as possible. Make that imprint with your feet to the floor. Squeeze the block so you can feel the action of your adductor muscles in the inner thighs. Can you feel when you engage that, when you squeeze the block, can you feel it come right up into the belly button? There's an energy center there. There's this bandha, very potent in our strength of core. Take a little tilt to the side. Keep your arms as close to your ears as you can. Not so far that you feel your body list away from the chair seat. You want to keep your pelvis grounded. So it might not be much of a bend at all, but you're feeling the stretch in the side body. Deepen the breath. Let's come back up to center. Clear your breath, kind of reset yourself. When you're ready, move to the side. I like arms real close to the head. For me, it gives me a source of stability. I know that my neck and spine are well aligned and well supported. Deepen the breath. No listing. Keep your pelvis really grounded, both sides really grounded. Come back up, and when we release, we've been stretching our hands. Maybe you don't need me to remind you of that. Release your hands, and I want you to open and close. So your fingers spread open and close, and then we're going to start to roll through the wrists. So doing a combination of moving through the hands in any way you can think of. Wrist, fingers, loosen that up. Now press out like you're pressing against the walls on either side of you. Press out. Fingers should be pointing to the ceiling. Open your hands wide. That means spread your fingers apart. Take a look from one side to the other as you press open. When you turn your head, this is a way to really connect to the movement of the head, neck combination. So you're stretching, you're noticing how when you turn your head, oh yeah, I feel that in my shoulders. What adjustment could I make to make this a little more freedom of movement? That kind of thing. Take a couple looks on either side. We're still pressing palms toward the walls on either side of us. Beautiful. Now come back to neutral. And I want you to just drop your fingers down. So you just soften that in your wrist. So no more real flexion. We just released that. And then very slowly let your arms come alongside the frame of the chair. Beautiful. I'm going to take my block and put it under the chair so we can do some other movements now. Let's just interlace our hands underneath our leg. And so let's start by moving into the knee joint. So I just want you to circle your shin. So it's really very little movement engaging the foot at this time. It's just letting your shin bones circle around and making a wide range of movement throughout the knee. Let's change the direction of that. So change the circular movement. Pull the belly in now. Let's be tall and strong in the upper body. Don't slouch. And then when we hug the knee into the chest, pull it way in. I got it underside of my thigh, pulling that thigh right into the side body, into the side of that side of your body. And now this is where we're going to move the foot. So what I like about this, I'm going to slip my hands onto the shin. Feels better. Pulling that in. This is a fold. You know, you're folding your leg in as much a fold as it possibly can. You're bringing your calf into the back of your thigh. Now let's release that a little bit. So see if you can just move a bent knee off to the side and back to center, any way that you can facilitate that. Holding on to your leg in any way you want. Maybe you're going to hold on to the chair for good measure. So you can move that leg from center to an external rotation. Maybe you can play around with how high up is your knee. You want to see what that feels like if you're lifting that knee quite high, or if you're just kind of keeping it almost at the level of the chair seat. A couple more rotations through the hip. Your standing leg's important. That leg that's not moving, you want to be sure that is engaged. You're pushing your foot into the floor. Let's rotate it out and land it on the floor. Now you created a right angle between your legs. We're going to work with this as a version of doing side angle stretches. So I want you to get your forearm onto that thigh. The block is also useful for those of you who are accustomed to that. Another way to work with this is that your hand is on the block. So I'm not going to use the block for this illustration, but you certainly can use that if you find that good in your practice. That's something that you like to work with. Slip that back hand behind your back and press the back of your hand into the back. So it helps you pull that shoulder back. Align your ear with where your elbow is. So you're holding your head in a good position in alignment with the spine. Press your feet into the floor, feeling the imprint in the strength of your legs. Deepen the breath. Now feel how you've got your chest aligned, how much you've spread open through the collarbone. Now we're going to slip that back hand right past the ear. I want you to put your mitten hand on that hand. So you've got your fingers joined, your thumbsticks away from that. Palm is facing down. Now, this isn't for everybody, but if you want to see about a different challenge here, I want you to really press into the foot that's on the floor, really press into that leg and release that arm to come parallel to the other extended arm. Press, press, press. It's not for everybody. You might choose right here because this really requires a lot of back strength. And if you're just not there yet, there's not quite that much back strength to facilitate this, choose something else and we can work toward that. Let's give it one more full breath cycle in and out. On your next inhale, bring yourself upright and all the way down with palms facing up. This is kind of a variation of the warrior pose, warrior two. Palms facing up, thumbs pointing behind you. Turn to look at each hand. Both feet are making an imprint on the floor. And notice in your body where you feel some resistance. So you can work with that. So you can be gentle with yourself, like, what could I soften? Maybe I need to breathe on that side more. Maybe I'm pulling myself off center. So start to investigate any resistance you're feeling in your body. And then finally, let's drop that right hand down. I'm going to hold on to the chair. Lift the other one up, up, up. Look up if you can. Press both feet into the floor like you're making an imprint. Lift up, a variation of the reverse warrior. Straight up is one version of it where the arm is fully extended and it's straight up. Another version of it is a kind of including a little side bend. Your drishti is important. How are you turning your head? Where are you looking? Your body needs you to pay attention to that so that you can choose your best option. Breathe in and breathe out. We check in with the Guru Dev. Let's come all the way up and out of that. We'll bring that leg back to center. Let's reset the body. Any movement your body needs to reset. And let's move to the other side. We're going to slip our hands underneath our thighs, get that heavy leg up there, and let's start to circle through the knee joint. So we've got our leg helping us out to move through a broad range of movement through the knee joint. Your standing leg is important. Make sure you put it right down. That's coming straight out from your hip. You're not wide of the chair frame. The chair frame really helps alignment. You're just keeping yourself within the box of the chair's frame. Well, let's change the direction. If you haven't done that yet, be sure you change the circular direction. And then when we hug the knee up into the chest, I know I kind of goofed up the last time. It's better to hold the shin. So we're going to grab the shin, pull that leg. So it's very folded. Feel how folded your leg is. And then we're going to start moving through the ankle joint. Nice, tall, strong spine. So it's kind of, you can get some leverage, can't you? You can pull yourself into that leg and it'll help you lift up, lengthen the spine. Let's get some of that snap, crackle, pop out of the ankle and out of those joints of the feet. Connect with your breath. Find the full breath in and out. Now we're going to do some movement into the hip as we just move from out into that external rotation. Hold on to the chair is one way to do it. I kind of like that. It keeps your standing side, your base support, nice and sturdy. And this side might be different about how you move it and how it feels in your body. Connect to your breath. So your breath is your best guide inside of you. Full breath in and out helps you get really clear on how this feels and how your body is coping, if you will. We're going to land with that external rotation, foot to the floor. And are we finding sort of a right angle between our legs? Pull in the belly, lift up, and we're going to come into that side angle. Again, if you like to use the block, you could have the block and deepen your bend. So if you want to use that, this is a good spot. And there's various heights of the block. You can use all those to see what works best for you. Let's take that back hand and press back into the back body. So pull the shoulder back, start to open through the collarbone in a good way. You want to line up your ear with your elbow. Deepen the breath. Now press your feet into the floor so you can feel yourself making an imprint. And you can feel the engagement of your legs. That's the whole deal. We're feeling the engagement and strength of our legs. Now find your breath. We're going to slip that back hand right past the ear. Put your mitten hand on. Keep your arm real close to your head, close to your ear. Full extension. Now you're going to feel like you're shoving yourself over toward that external rotation. I want you to level out your pelvis so it feels like both sides of the pelvis are claiming their space on that chair just the same. You can stay right here, or you can really press your feet and offer the other extended arm. Palms are parallel to each other, arms are extended in a parallel position. It's not for everybody. It requires a lot of strength in your back. Find your breath. On your next inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale right into our warrior position. Our arms now extend at shoulder height, palms are facing up. Keep your mitten hands on, thumbs pointing back. Turn your head to look from one hand to the other. And notice when you turn your head, how it feels in your back, how it feels in your shoulders. Catch up with that breathing. Let's try the reverse warrior. We're going to get our arm down alongside the chair. I'm holding it. Lift up. Look up. Again, we're just checking out what's our drishti. Feel the imprint of your feet to the floor. You can stay right here, or you can add a bend. Let your body take a side bend. Arm comes over top. Full breath in, full breath out. Relax your shoulders down and back. Let's come out of it by sweeping that arm and bringing us all the way up. We're going to bring both feet back together. I want you to hold on to the chair if that's useful for you so that you can open and close. Take a wide angle, bring those legs together. Hands at the hips, we've got the wide angle. Let's take a big step over to bring the legs together. So we're just going to work one side at a time. It's a big step, it's almost a hop. Make sure that standing leg, the leg that you're coming over to, is well positioned. You can feel your heel on the ground. You know, you're not just floating your foot over there, it's really grounded over there. Bring those legs together, squeeze them together. Let's try a twist here. I want both arms up, right alongside your head. Palms face each other. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze with the legs. Squeeze with you just feel like you're drawing everything in towards your belly button. See if you can find that. Everything wants to come in toward the belly button. And arms are going to drape away from your knees, away from your knees. And there's no particular way. I've seen so many students are just kind of robotic and they're, holding their arms real stiff. Just get your arms over there, hold on to yourself or hold on to the chair. Once you've got your hands over there and arms over there, you're done. You don't need to hold them in any stiff way. Just get them over there. Squeeze your legs together. Find the beauty of this twist. Let's remember the fundamentals here. The twist needs to start low and work its way up. It needs to start low and work its way up. So you've got the grounding of your pelvis. You move up. Now, where's some flexibility? Well, the waistline. The waistline has some movability, doesn't it? That's where we can really start to revolve the trunk of our body. The shoulders offer you some play. They're going to pull your rib cage into a revolved position. Then your neck and head. Squeeze your legs, deepen your breath. I love these chairs. It's just like I got a good place to hold back there. It's helping me feel very strong. And I really feel very well aligned because I got some places to hold on to encourage that. Now exhale completely and soften your whole body with that exhale. And if you didn't get it on the first one, let's do it this time. You have your big inhale. Soften your whole body on the exhale. Unwind your head, unwind your shoulders and arms. Take that wide angle. Let's hold on to the chair as we come back to this movement. It's a big jump. Pull the belly in. You want to have your upper body very upright. Your spine is upright. Your feet can't be too far away from the chair or you don't have the traction. So check in with that. If you get your 2 feet too far away from you, you're not grounded enough. So make sure you can feel your heel press down. Let's bring legs together. Squeeze them. Make sure you can feel the whole surface of both feet. Lift and lengthen the spine. Inhale up. Let's stay with that inhale. Stay in, with your whole breath right here. There you go. Now when it's time to exhale, let's go the other way. We're bringing our arms away from our knees. We're going to start with the fundamentals. This twist has to start low and make its way up. And we want to keep our spine vertical. There's a real tendency, absolutely, to lean. See if you can make a correction to that leaning and bring your spine as best as you can feel in your body into its vertical position. Now let's deepen the breath. Big breath in, big breath all the way out. Now inhaling, and that exhale is going to soften the whole body. Let's do it again. Big inhale. Your exhale is going to soften your whole body. Unwind your head and your shoulders. And let's come back to our wider angle. I'm going to turn a little bit to the side just so you're aware. Again, have that visual. But you don't need to move at all. I want you to have a side view. We've got our wide angle. Our hands are on our thighs. We're bringing ourselves to that half lift. We're halfway up. Squeezing your elbows in. This is where we're going to work the perineum. We're going to press into the floor with our feet, and we're going to let our hands even give it even more pressure. And as you do so, you're taking your inhale and trying to pull yourself up off that chair. Exhale, soften and release. My hand is just illustrating what the feeling is. You don't need to do this movement with your hand. It's just illustrating the feeling within your body. There's this hovering above the chair that's tightening and strengthening and building good, strong support in your perineum, and then exhale to soften and release. We're going to stay here for several breaths, so let's go. Elbows are squeezed into the waist. Keep a neutrality about the way you're holding your mouth, face, soften there. Give all your effort into lifting the perineum off of the chair seat. You can deepen this. You can make it a little more intense, maybe a little more useful for you by bringing yourself into a deeper fold. So you choose. You listen to that inner teacher, the Guru Dev. Your breath is kind of a partner, not a partner, but plays a leading role in that Guru Dev, because you can really monitor how you're doing by the quality of your breath. Lift and hold. You can breathe both in and out while you lift and hold the perineum up, and lift yourself up. Lift yourself back up. And now breathing in and out while you're lifting up through the perineum. Beautiful. Now soften and release. Palms come together. Let's take an inhale. Exhale as we bow to our heart. We bow. This is Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Inhale up. And exhale all the way around. Beautiful. Let's just start lifting those legs up at any space. If you like them wide and they're lifting up, great. If you kind of like them in front of you while you're lifting up, that's okay too. So we're lifting up. You don't need to use your hands and arms at all if you don't want to. You're just lifting, lifting, lifting. Can you feel that in your low belly? You know, the effort it takes, the musculature that you're working by lifting your legs up deep into the low belly wall. Let's get hands on the shoulders and let's do a little crossover now. So legs have to come together a little bit more, or if you like those wide ones, that just means more of a twist. So up to you. Now find your rhythm of breath. This is hearty breath now. Warming up the body. Last one, each side gets a tap. Let's come back to neutral. Take a big sweeping action to come out of that. Right leg's gonna pop up for that figure four. I want you to practice that. I'm holding on to the chair, but you don't need to. If you're really working on that core strength, you could bring your hands to your waist and just move that leg. Figure four, we're gonna hold that. Draw your heel and ankle up toward the crease of your leg as much as you can. Stabilize the standing leg. Make sure it's well positioned. We're going to use this position, this shape of the body for some more core work. So I want you to bring your hands to your shoulders like this again, and we're going to stay with this side coming up and down. So a lot more twisting action, so we're getting the side walls of the abdominal structure. You know what's interesting, because of the way we're holding our arms, I feel a lot of movement through the shoulder blades, which I need. That gets sticky for me back there. So I like to move through the shoulder blades and loosen that up. Let's hold it now. Elbow to the inner part of your knee. Let your other arm just rest. So we've got elbow to the inner part. Maybe stretch that hand behind your back a little bit. And then turn your head in a way that feels interesting to you. Where are you going to change your drishti? Do you want your ear facing your elbow? Do you want to look up and out? Just see what your head needs and your neck. Turn your head mindfully and explore your drishti. Deepen the breath. We're going to unwind from that. Get your arms down alongside the chair. Hold on. We'll get that foot down and we're going to switch to the other side. Figure 4. Catch up with your breath. I skipped that part. So if there's a reset your body needs, you know to introduce that right now. Reset your body. Catch up with your breath. Last time, we'll bring it up there and then draw your heel in towards your crease of your leg as much as it'll go. Make sure your standing leg is well positioned. If you need a little massaging because you're getting cranky, your knee might be cranky because this is a lateral stretch we're asking for. So just give your body what your body needs. When you're ready to join in, we're going to do that side movement, getting into the side abdominals. So we do our crunching, bringing elbow to that inner knee. I like to really turn. I turn my head entirely so it feels like my ear is also going in the very same spot that my elbow is going. Can you find your breath now? Inhaling and exhaling. Good yoga. What's good yoga? Full exhalation. In a quick answer, full exhalation. Let's hold it now. Keep your elbow down, turn your head away. Now release that top arm. So the one elbow is really kind of leaning in towards your inner thigh, inner knee, and the back hand is finding its home behind you, pressing into your back, holding onto the chair. Find your drishti here. How can you turn and hold your head while you breathe in and breathe out? While feel the twist. Can you feel the twist in your trunk? Holy cow. And let's start peeling away from that, unwinding now. And let's get a hold of the chair as we bring both feet to the floor. Excellent. Well, my favorite way to get to standing is to tilt back and pop up. So let's do a few of those. Tilt up back and pop up. And we're finally going to land in a standing position, but I do want you to have your block. And the block is going to go between your calves and shins. So let's squeeze that block, shins in. Just think of that term. Shins are squeezing in. Now, here's the thing that yoga tells us. It's kind of like, really? But as you bring shins in, it gives you the potential of moving thighs out. It's subtle. Shins in, thighs out, gives you some spaciousness in the hips. Let's roll our arms so the palms can face forward. Our hands are right close to the body. Arms are real close to the body. Now let's close the eyes. Now I'm going to guess there could be some gripping going on here. So let's be on the alert as we squeeze that block just enough that we can feel the difference in our legs. So let's kind of bypass all that interaction of the thighs and the hips and just trust that it's happening. And see if you can find the sweet spot where there's no gripping. You're not gripping as you hold that block. Maybe you got to soften your buttocks a little bit. Let's keep the belly wall strong. And let's find the breath now from the soles of the feet, inhaling all the way as it ascends through the front part of your body. And let it exhale as it descends down the backside of your body. And I want you to really see if you can pay more attention to the descension down the back of the body. So you're like feeling your back body more so than your front body. Because we get plenty of opportunity. We look at the front part of our body. It's the only thing we know about ourselves. It's how we look in the mirror. Could we feel ourselves from the backside a little more on this breath? Get curious about that. Trying to feel that exhale descend its way down through the terrain of your back body. Take your time with those breaths. You don't want to rush them. Beautiful. Let's flutter the eyes open. I have moved. You do not need to move. I simply want you to see a different view. We're going to move into what's called chair pose, Uttanasana in the Sanskrit language. We're going to bend the knees a little bit. Keep that block there. Squeeze and bend the knees a little bit. Let's bring hands to the prayer position. Now, act like you're going to sit in the chair. So you're lowering your pelvis, squeezing that block. That's Uttanasana. We have this variation. Head, neck, and spine are in alignment. Another variation is to extend your arms away from you. Find that, breathing in and breathing out. Let's take arms up a little bit. Keep breathing, squeezing. You might go back to hands together. You might have your hands on your thighs. So you're exploring. We're lifting all the way up to get our arms as close to the ears as we can. This to me is the very challenging version of this. Or I should say the next layer is when you bring your palms together up here. Palms together with your arms extended past your ears. Now that's a challenging pose. Let's lift up. Take a big breath with me. Exhale as you bow to your heart. Hands are together at prayer. Inhale up. And exhale, come all the way down, and we're going to come into the T of our arms. So we're going to just have our arms extended, thumbs pointing back. Take a look from one hand to the other. Squeeze your block so you can feel your legs. Can you feel the imprint you're making with your feet to the floor? Palms come together. Exhale, bow. Inhale up. Exhale, big sweeping action all the way down. We're going to relocate our block between our thighs. Take a little wider stance with your feet, just a bit. Inhale with your arms straight up. Again, I'm turning, you don't need to. Squeeze that block. Up with the arms. And arms are staying parallel as you try that little leaning. We did that on our seated pose. Parallel arms. Squeeze the block. Squeezing the block is going to stabilize your low back. So assign that value to it. You know, you're aware that that action of interacting with those adductor muscles is a nice stabilizing factor for your low back. So use it. Use it that way. Come back up. Catch up with your breath. Feel the length and strength of your body. Look how long and strong you are. Just feel that from the soles of your feet to the top of your fingertips, long and strong. Let's go the other way. Squeeze the block, stabilize the low back. Deepen the breath. Where are you? If there's any kind of clutching going on, clenching, you know what I'm talking about, resistance in the body, let's let that go. All the way up, palms together. Once again, look up. Let's hold palms together as we lift our face up. Now let your shoulder blades slide down the back. Try to relax your neck. And let the weight of your head tilt back a little. Just feel it out mindfully now, mindfully. What's good for your neck? This feels mighty fine for me, so I'm all about it. Let's take an inhale together. Exhale now slowly, because we want to take our head out of that back bend we did. So slowly the chin comes down. We're just going to breathe here, bowing into our heart. Let's do our mantra now. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale up. Exhale all the way around. And we're going to lose the block. Let's come to the chair now with a seat of the chair facing us. So however that is for you, hands are going to be on the chair seat, so you're in your tabletop position. Your shoulders are above your hands and wrists, so you're very close to the chair. Tabletop, the back of the body is in its tabletop version. Keep your eyes on the chair seat if you can, and bend your knees, really bend them. See if you can get your knees to touch the chair and straighten. So all you're doing is bending and straightening those back table legs. Keep your gaze on the chair seat, so your head, neck, and spine are in alignment. Bending. See if you can bend your knees and still keep the soles of your feet down, including your heels. Meet me in the bent knee position. Meet me there. All of your weight is spread into your feet. You got strong, strong legs. Could you imagine the block between your thighs? Then I want you to get your hands up. I'm using the back of my chair. I've just reached my hands to the back of my chair and lifting up, looking out. There's the chair pose. We just did it without the use of this structure, but there it is. This is the shape. Push your feet to the floor and then lift your hands up. Let your arms float away all the way to standing. Hold it. Find a full breath in and out. Let's breathe down the back side of the body with our breath. We want to feel this. How does it feel right now on our back? And let's see if we can go back where we came from. So the arms are going to stretch right to the back of the chair, not the seat. Arms are extended. And then hands come back to the chair seat and you're back into your tabletop. Straighten out the legs, pull the chin in towards your throat. Let's bend one knee and bring it into the chest, and we can find the roundness of the back body that we call that cat. And then straighten your leg and lift your face up toward the back of the chair. Let's move through a version of cow and cat, standing up using our tabletop version. Find your breath now, rounding through the back, and then when you straighten your leg and push it back, it gives you an extension of the spine because you're lifting your chest out toward the back of the chair. Last time, rounding the back, extending the leg, both feet to the floor. Let's soften the knees as we come upright. And now shake that out. I'm going to turn so you'd have a quick view. You don't need to do anything different, but you might need a quick view, a reminder of what we did. Palms are coming back to the chair because we're back into our tabletop. We're going to work the other side. So we start again by bending and straightening. So you're coming into your tabletop, you have straight legs, but then we're bending the knees and we keep the soles of the feet down, bending and straightening the knees. Find your breath. Don't hold your breath. Now let's bend and hold. Imagine the block between your thighs. You're going to squeeze those inner thighs, which is those adductor muscles, as you get your arms to reach toward the back of the chair. Now, no longer on the chair seat. Reach out to the back of your chair in some way. This is chair pose. This is Uttanasana. Deepen the breath. Strong, strong legs today. Let's bring our hands to our thighs and we come back to the tabletop. Now lift the other leg up to round through the back body and extend it. So make sure you switch sides. Round through the back body into your C-shaped curve. Extend your leg long behind you and lift your chest. So you're doing a version, a more complicated, kind of challenging version of the cow and cat. And we're using our whole body, aren't we, to move through the spine like this. Last time, rounding, extending, both feet to the floor. Now, let's go into down dog. Start walking back. Hands stay on the chair seat. Start walking back and see if you can align your feet and your hands. In other words, the same distance you have between your hands is what you'll have between your feet. Pull in the belly. That's going to help you come deeper into your downward dog. Arms are just skating right alongside your head and ears. Find your full breath in and out. Pulling the buttocks back away from, just trying to stretch back to the wall behind you with the buttocks. Now feel it in your body. Where are you feeling it in your body? I could start talking about what I've got going on, but I want you to find what's going on in your body. Try this little difference. Instead of palms down on your chair seat, lift your palms up so it's just your finger pads, like you got clawed fingers pushing into the chair instead. Feel the difference of that. Full breath in, full breath out. One more breath like that. And start walking toward the chair. Round through your back body, soften the knees quite a bit. Round through the back body, drop your chin, and then roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time. The head is the last to come up, lift up. That's it. Catch up with your breath. We need to shake, shake, shake. Let's do that, shaking out the limbs. Open, close your hands. Circle through the wrists. And let's finally finish up with some tapping. I'm a real big fan of that, how it changes the energy in the body. So let's start with fingertips are tapping at the top of the head. You're catching up with your breath. Your body might still be in motion here. You're kind of letting go, letting go. Good, and then we're on the forehead, right there in the forehead, the center of the forehead, tap, tap, tap. Your temples, just a tap. Let's go under the eyes, so you're on your cheekbones. Under your nose, I just use one hand here, a little space, and then on your chin, so right under your mouth there. Collarbone is the whole width of the collarbone. You want to just feel that bony structure of the collarbone. Right at the sternum, the center of your sternum. Again, I'm using just one hand. And then wrap your arms around you so you can pat, pat, pat. Okay, we're going to land right here. And I want you to take your hands, your mitten hands, and push them underneath your armpits. So push your hands, mitten hands, under your armpits, like you're giving yourself a hug. So your arms are crossed at your heart. Stand up tall. Now close your eyes when you feel comfortable with that. A little softness of the knees. Now feel how your hands, your fingers, are right into that armpit chest. The home of a lot of lymphatic action. The system of the lymphatic is right there, a big center for that drainage of waste. So we're just gonna kind of massage that a little bit by our little bit of squeezing action with our hands right there, as we can feel now our whole body in a different way. There's a hug going on. Calm that breath all the way down now. Slow the breath way down. Feel the hug. And let's release the arms. It's time to move into Shavasana. So find your seat. Some of you grab a second chair. I'm going to go a little bit over. I can already tell you that this will not be just an hour class. It'll probably be a little bit longer than that, just to give you a heads up. So we're finding our Shavasana now, relaxing into the back of the chair. So you're going to scoot yourself back so you can feel the support of the backrest in the whole seat of the chair. Unless, of course, you've got a second chair and you're propping yourself up. Stay with me now. When we get to these final the final moments of class, and it's winding down, we as human beings, we start to move on. And I'm really encouraging you to stay here. So don't start visiting with your other people in the room, in your household. See if you can stay here now with your breath and your body and the chair's support. The Guru Dev. If you know for yourself, you've been practicing long enough to know various breath practices that you have found very useful to calm you, to center you, please employ those. I don't always offer them as part of the structure of the class, but boy, I really encourage you to use the breath practices that you have found to be, you know, useful for you, calming. Just you love them. They're just you're part of your well-being. Let the chair support you. Really relax into your space. I have a rather long reflection to share with you. And if you're in the mood for breathing, you could mute me. You know, if you're just kind of wanting the silence of this time, you can shut that off. This is called Reflections of Self, which fits so well with this theme today of the Guru Dev, and really reminding ourselves that what's, you know, one of the main purposes of a yoga practice is to come into a self-awareness and self-appreciation. When we look at other people, we see many of their qualities in innumerable and seemingly random combinations. However, the qualities that we see in the people around us are directly related to the traits that exist in us. Like attracts like is one of the spiritual laws of the universe. We attract individuals into our lives that mirror who we are. Those you feel drawn to reflect your inner self back at you, and you act as a mirror for them. Simply put, when you look at others, you will likely see what exists in you. When you see beauty, divinity, sweetness, or light in the soul of another, you are seeing the goodness that resides in your soul. When you see traits in others that evoke feelings of anger, annoyance, or hatred, you may be seeing reflected back at you those parts of yourself that you have disowned or do not like. Because we are all mirrors for each other, looking at the people in your life can tell you a lot about yourself. Who you are can be laid bare to you through what you see in others. It is easy to see the traits you do not like in others. It is much more difficult to realize that you possess those same traits. Often the habits, attitudes, and behaviors of others are closely linked to our unconscious and unresolved issues. When you come into contact with someone you admire, search your soul for similarly admirable traits. Likewise, when you meet someone exhibiting traits that you dislike, accept that you are looking at your reflection. Looking at yourself through your perception of others can be a humbling and eye-opening experience. You can also cultivate in you the traits and behaviors that you do like. Be loving and respectful to all people, and you will attract individuals that will love and respect you back. Nurture compassion and empathy, and let the goodness you see in others be your mirror. If you're looking for a source that comes from Daily Om, an inspirational email available for free. Feel your belly soften now. Let your shoulders relax. Can you almost imagine that I've got my hands on your shoulders, lying them on your shoulders to give you that gentle compression and connection one with the other? Listen for your breath. Tune into your sensory perception. So, starting with sound, touch. Just noticing the light that comes through even as your eyes are closed. The taste within your mouth. Perhaps you're noticing the scent or smells around you. Embracing your whole self. Breathe all the way in before you breathe all the way out. Let that inhale remind you of all that you're grateful for and that you're pulling it in to absorb it within every cell of your body. And exhale as though you're sharing that gratitude with the world around you. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale it out of the mouth with a sigh. Ah. Do a few breaths like that now as we start to transition out of final relaxation. Use your cleansing breaths to move your body to help guide you into this next phase and final phase of our connection. Beautiful. Let's open the eyes and bring palms together at our heart. Let's use our mantra one last time. So as we just bring palms together, maybe you do bow into that space and close eyes or open, whatever feels right for you. And the words again, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale with me as palms lift up and overhead. Exhale, we bow to the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, we share this grateful energy, this energy of appreciation all around our community and ourselves. We bring our hands to the prayer position where we bow to ourselves and we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends, and thank you for joining me.